76 feet tall, about 90 meters tall, made of a combination of granite, limestone, and cement. The average height from the water surface to the midpoint of the bridge deck above us is 127 feet or 40 meters. Its early nickname. New York City's population, last I checked, is 8 million. 5 years ago, it was 8.8 million. Big difference, at least in the official resident number. A lot of people left town. The metropolitan tri-state area, which is New York City, Long Island, New York, northern New Jersey, southern Connecticut, is more than double of that number. And yes, of course, I'm talking about the human population. If you're curious about the rat population, that's more difficult of an estimate, more debated. Some of this debate say it's the same number. Others say it's gone down quite significantly. Some say it's now only 3 million rats in New York City, probably. But I think it's still closer to 8 million. And mostly underground. And the wide gray building on the left at the waterfront with blue posts near it. David Beckham used to live there, a soccer player where I'm pointing. The Spice Girl wife, Victoria Beckham, and one of their children. After that, Brooklyn. So the ferry terminal is on the right. That white boat there is for the Governor's Island ferry. It's a $5 round trip or free if it's a weekend before 11 a.m. Travels just a half a mile distance. Governor's Island, the island on the left. It's 172 acres. Has 3 historic forts, one of which we will pass soon, I mentioned them. The next ferry terminal on the right is for the Staten Island ferry. It's got the blue and orange colors there. Staten Island, as I said, is one of the 5 boroughs of New York City. It will appear soon. It's behind Governor's Island, about 5 miles away at 11 o'clock. But near, right across the harbor in front of us, is New Jersey. Extending along the right side there, in the distance, is Jersey City, New Jersey. In between Manhattan and Jersey City, just around the right corner of Manhattan, the southern tip of Manhattan, that's the Hudson River on the right. This cement structure to our left here at the edge of Governor's Island is a ventilation structure connected to the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel. Connects Brooklyn on the far left, vehicle traffic from there, all the way to Manhattan on the right. It's almost 2 miles long, the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel, one of several tunnels connecting boroughs as well as New Jersey and Manhattan. All right, so in the next few minutes, a couple of gaps are about to open. First gap is all right, but then after there'll be a better one for a view of the World Trade Center. So to our right, again, the tallest building of New York and the Western Hemisphere, One World Trade Center, designed by David Childs and completed about 10 years ago. The total height, again, is 1,776 feet tall. It's matched the year of the United States Declaration of Independence. It's also related to its nickname, the Freedom Tower. Meters, 541 meters, a total of 104 floors, and the fastest elevators in the Western Hemisphere. A one minute ride. It's a little more than 20 miles per hour, or a little more than 30 kilometers per hour, the speed of the elevators in the World Trade Center building. And yeah, so now this gap that's opening up, you'll practically notice top to bottom the building. And the sides of the building, the facade, is formed by 8 alternating triangles for most of the length of this building. 8 long isosceles triangles. And a ring above the top floor. That was in the recent Jurassic Park movie, Pterodactyl Dinosaur Nest. And for anybody who does not know, the old Twin Towers were located just to the right of where the new one is. Now the 9/11 memorial footprints of the old Twin Towers, just next to the building on its right side. It's the front right corner there. They spent $3.9 billion making this building. The same company which financed Burj Khalifa of Dubai. If you wanted Dubai, they spent a smaller fraction of that. Less than half of the amount. And to our left, so Governor's Island has some colonial style buildings as well as three forts. One is the semi-rounded building, which I'll have to mention more on the way back, nearer to it. And it's called Governor's Island because British royal governors used to live and work from there before we were the United States, while it was still a colony of Great Britain, later becoming the United States with the Declaration of Independence. Before it was called Governor's Island, it was called Chestnut Island because the Dutch, as well as the Native American Indians, called it this in their languages. In English, Chestnut Island. There used to be many chestnut trees. Not so many now, but there's still a few. And the little white camping tents may be the most recent addition. Right is the Hudson River, separating Manhattan and New Jersey, and continues north way beyond New Jersey through New York State, reaching upstate New York's Adirondack Mountains. The Hudson River goes north 315 miles, about 500 kilometers. And named after the English navigator Henry Hudson, but he was working for the Dutch. The Dutch were tipped off to create a trading post in a little city here. They called it New Amsterdam. So this was before the British. This was before it was called New York. It was called New Amsterdam. Basically between the years of 1626 and 1664. Although Henry Hudson himself, he arrived here earlier in the year 1609. And somebody who arrived before Hudson here was the Italian explorer Giovanni da Verrazzano. He arrived here in the year 1524. It's the 500th anniversary. Later in the year 1964, a bridge was made and named in his honor. It's the Verrazzano Bridge, a few miles away to our left. Maybe the sun glare is interfering. On our way back, it might be better. Give you more details about the Verrazzano Bridge, New York's biggest bridge. And it used to be the world's longest suspension bridge when it opened back in 1964. Apparently, a city worker misspelled Verrazzano's name when it opened. And only 6 years ago, recently, was that spelling error corrected. Apparently, it's supposed to be 2 R's and 2 Z's. When it opened, they spelled it with 2 R's and 1 Z. Verrazzano. Pretty trivial. The towers of the Verrazzano Bridge are almost 700 feet tall. The total length of the bridge, almost 2 miles. And here on our right is Ellis Island. This 3-story building with 4 pointy towers. Right, the main Ellis Island building, French Renaissance Revival style. It is now a national museum. Included with these smaller buildings, of course, is a quarantine building. Libertas. That's why it's a Roman-style toga, and also why Roman numerals are on the tablet she is holding. It simply says July 4th, 1776. Again, Declaration of Independence. The statue, originally intended not just as a gift from France, who supported the American Revolution, basically, it was meant to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. Well, they started work, at least in time. They started working on it technically in the year 1874 in France. But finally, after it was shipped here, 350 pieces in 214 boxes, and the delays in funding the rest of the cost, as well as the stone pedestal. It's not a fully paid for gift, especially once it was decided here in the United States that we'd like it to be taller, well, adding a stone pedestal foundation at least to boost it. Okay, so the crown has the 7 rays or peaks to represent a reference to the abolition of slavery. The hand and torch flame is actually not the original up there. The original had water leak damage.